We are looking live on Zoom. And this is where they start recording what I'm saying, and live on Facebook. Welcome back to The Change Physician. I am Melissa Katie, the Challenge Doctor, with my awesome co-host, Dr. Kevin Cuccaro. And as always, with Saturday Salutations, we're here to say hi and also let you know about our recent and upcoming episodes and maybe our favorite things over the past week and any other random tangents we go on. So thank you for joining us on Saturday. If not, you're hearing a recording. If you see this on Challenge Doctor, this just cross-posted from The Change Physician. If you don't know what The Change Physician is all about, you can go to thechangephysician.com, and whether you're a physician or physician ally can join the community. And feel free to check out all of our venues. We also have an Instagram page, Facebook page for The Change Physician, but you can check out our episodes at iTunes and all the other popular sites to listen to podcasts. So, all right, Kevin, how are you? Did you get caught up?
I am well. I'm clicking this last thing and doing it to wherever it's supposed to go in the internet ethers. But yeah, other than that, it's well.
All right.
Whoa.
Cool. Well,
wait a second.
What? We missed
that was
something?
Facebook. No, it was Facebook. I clicked something and it started us like an echo on Facebook because Echo's got that delay and it was playing. And I'm like, whatever.
Well, I couldn't hear it, so that I guess the audience is good.
Oh, that's good. It's just all right. Or I'm just going crazy. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's good here. It is the end of, what do they call, the dog days of summer, end of August kind of a thing. And historically people take vacations, and I am actually on vacation now with my family. But you guys are so important to me. I have to take a break and share with you those favorite things. So going well. How about you?
Oh, good. I'm actually having, it looks really nice outside. Of course it's hot, but I'm looking forward to, I guess I'll say one of my gratitude things. I love getting outside, and I love the sun. I love, I try to protect my face a little bit from those rays, but I absolutely love getting outside. It makes me happy. And it looks like I do things that people cannot even, I've been shoveling rocks and pulling weeds, and it sounds so just absolutely horrible, but somehow I get a lot of gratitude because I know what the ultimate goal is and what it could look like. I guess that's what I focus on. And then yeah, I think it's I can distract myself with podcasts. Speaking of our podcast, sometimes I listen to our own voices, but I've already heard us say it once, so I don't really need to listen to us. But my husband has a podcast, so I'll listen to his podcast, which is kind of cool to hear him on the airwaves. Or I'll learn about all kinds of things. Like at this particular podcast, we like to talk about, wealth, health, all the different various things that keep us successful in life and have more joy in life. So, yeah.
Well, very cool
answer as usual.
Well, and I think that's actually a great place to listen to podcasts is when you're doing something else. Like I can't just sit and listen to a podcast. Like, I don't know. You have to be doing something. So the best places for me have always been in a drive, but I don't really drive anywhere, because I pretty much work from home now. And then the other one is working outside. And I don't really like working outside. But when I had to redo our deck and recoat the deck, that's all I did. Tons and tons and tons of, and that made it enjoyable, like you said.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to link it with some, like, if you don't like to do something, you got to create the environment that makes it more enjoyable. So distract yourself with something you want to do. Yeah, totally agree. Well, why don't you introduce the recent episodes and what's coming up?
All right, so where are we? We're 8/21. So the two episodes that are producing this week, and this is where I always get screwed up because we're on Saturdays here. So I think it was, are you sacrificing your health for retirement? That was the first one.
And I made the mistake of saying the two-way door of decision making, which we'd already talked about, which was really last Sunday.
Okay.
But go check it out. The way we decide on things in life, sometimes we make it harder on ourselves than necessary, but that was episode 120 that released last Sunday. There was a little bit of change up in releases, but irregardless, yes, go ahead and hit the tiny habits.
Yeah, well, and that, we made a mistake, but that two-way decision making one I think is really, really important, and particularly knowing that your brain is going to want to think in one-way door terms, but two-way door is a much better way to approach most decisions, other than, say, jumping off a cliff that has a very hard bottom at the bottom. Well, that's a one-way decision, and you pretty much want to do it, but most of life is not jumping off a cliff with a solid bottom underneath. So great episode there. But then, for this particular week, the episodes that released, number one was, are you sacrificing your health for retirement? This is a topic I think has always been very interesting to me. And particularly because there's a lot of marketing reports that are produced by basically brokerage houses. And they say they're research and stuff, but really they're a marketing report trying to get you to invest more money with them, which is good. But we were really talking about is when you're doing that, instead of just focusing on, hey, healthcare costs going to be so expensive when I'm older and I'm in my retirement state, is recognize that the thing that you can do now to invest in yourself and basically getting a return on your investment right off the bat is to exercise, keep yourself healthy, physically, mentally, psychologically. And if you're doing that, then you're more likely to not require as much healthcare as you get older. Your premiums should be lower. And really, why would you want to live a sick retirement with the best healthcare in the world? If you can afford all the doctors in the world, but you can't walk down the street, that doesn't sound great to me. So anyway, important episode there. And then related to that, we talk about tiny habits for long-term health, little teeny small things that you can do on a day-to-day basis, which really provide kind of an outsized gain if you're doing them consistently over time. So small amounts of efforts over time. So that was this week. And then this particular week, we have a guest. Many physician listeners, if you follow any physicians on blogs or podcasts or whatever, you're going to probably know our next guest, who's Dr. Leif Dahleen, who also goes by the name Physician on Fire. That's actually the website, Physician on Fire, who interestingly enough is an anesthesiologist, and a lot of physician podcasters and bloggers are anesthesiologists for some. Have you noticed that? It's really weird. Like, it's weird. I feel like we have a total outsized group of physicians doing this stuff are anesthesiologists. So anyway, he's an anesthesiologist, and he talked about his journey to financial independence and an earlier kind of retirement, which is really defined as doing things on your own terms. And then after that, we'll have the episode where we actually talk about our deep dive, where we go our own takeaways regarding that discussion, because we think when we have a guest on there, there's going to be things that they say, and then you have to take from those episodes things that are personally relevant for you. And we're going to share some of our personal relevant findings with that discussion that maybe then you can extrapolate and find useful to your personal experiences. So really exciting week, and should be great episodes.
Yeah, and because we split it through the Saturday, of course, the Tiny Habits one is actually releasing tomorrow, technically, and then on Thursday is Dr. Dahleen.
See, it screws me up every time. Yeah. I don't know why it's so hard for me to remember the actual release dates. And we have it on a spreadsheet. I'm looking at it right now.
And I'm almost thinking we should just put the actual, day, like where you actually put Thursday. Somehow our brains are like trying to make certain days different days of the week, but everyone listening to us is so confused because they're not seeing what we're seeing. But yes, I think this Dr. Dahleen, he has a wealth of information. Just listen to our deep dive, and we'll talk about why we think him and why he and his website are a great resource. So I kind of talked about my favorite thing. What was your favorite thing this past week or is ongoing?
Well, my favorite thing obviously is that I'm on vacation, and in fact, I almost forgot about this. It just happens that we're I live in Oregon. We're an hour away from the coast. My mother rents a house on the Oregon coast every year. All the family gets together. It is absolutely one of my favorite things every year that we do. It's great to just spend time together, and even in this COVID environment, we're safe. We're all vaccinated. We are smart. And then you kind of just make your own pod, right? And so we get together, and it's just so relaxing. It's like the best, and awesome. It helps that my family is awesome. So I'm, that's a little humble brag there, but definitely my favorite thing this week, and it'll be my favorite thing next week because we will be there all until next Saturday.
Awesome. Well, that you can't beat that, and thank God, not everyone enjoys their time with their family. We don't choose our family typically, so good for you. And awesome.
Well, we've talked about that. I think, and then we talked about relationships, and that's, I think, something really we should do an episode on. When you choose a relationship, you have to look at the family too. Yeah, and I that was one thing that was hammered home to me pretty early on, either covertly or overtly, was think about who you're marrying and their family. And it's really lucky is my mother-in-law is fantastic, and she's an amazing woman, and my in-laws are really great. I love that family, and my family, I think sometimes I joke, and I think I'm only half joking, but I think they love her more than me sometimes, or most of the time. Because she definitely has more cool stuff than me. She like knits and bakes and cooks and is awesome. And I'm just me. So anyway, it's important. We should do an episode on that sometime.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. No, I know my parents absolutely love my husband. He's
Everybody loves your husband, though.
all of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is a good episode, because I don't think I was intentional in the early part of my life on who I chose.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. This is an upcoming potential future episode on, you're marrying the family just as much as you're marrying the person. So so choose wisely.
Choose wisely campaign, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, why don't you take us out?
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on a very quick, short, and sweet Saturday salutations. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend, doing things, enjoying things, finding things that really give you pleasure and joy. Look for those following episodes to drop. And if you are interested in being on the list and joining the community, go to thechangephysician.com. And until next time, stay well.
Take care.